The island of Andoria on the Westeraden archipel had already inspired the organizers of the first Arctic race 4 years ago. And this year the start of the Arctic race leads to Andoria, north of the Arctic Circle. 4 stages are on the menu, 2 designed for the punchers, 1 for the sprinters and 1 for the climbers. A full program for the 129 participants. Thor Hushovd, the first winner and ambassador of the Arctic race, is of course present at the start of stage 1 to Narvik. Right away 2 Norwegians, the Argentinian Daniel Diaz from Delco Marseille and the Austrian Bernhard Eisel from Dimension Data, try their luck in an escape group, but they will be taken again in the outskirts of Narvik. However, there will be no sprint final as Alexander Kristoff, bereft of teammates, cannot counter the various attackers in the pack. And it's the man in shape, Dylan Teuns, who takes the stage 2 seconds ahead of what remains of the peloton. The Belgian from BMC immediately takes the lead and keeps on dominating his rivals after winning the Tour de Wallonie and the Tour of Poland a few days ago. The day after, it goes further north for stage 2, from Sjovegan to Bardufoss Airport, where the Norwegian Air Force has planned a show for the thousands of spectators. The arrival on the runway should favor the sprinters, and the local Alexander Kristoff is of course the great favorite. But some do not agree with this scenario, and 6 men take off early in the race. The pack plays with the escapees and doesn't let them take off. 50 kilometers from arrival, the lead of the escape group is of 2.5 minutes only. As soon as it gets to the final laps on the runway, the sprinters team start the hunt. Katyusha and Cofidis reel in the escapees and get in position for the sprint final. The sprint is launched and Hugo Hofstetter from Cofidis tries to resist, but it's the European champion Alexander Kristoff who is faster than everybody else and takes stage 2. A bit of solace for the Norwegian after a difficult Tour de France. On Saturday, the longest stage of the Arctic race is on the menu. 185 kilometers and an altitude arrival at the summit of the Finnvikdalen in the outskirts of Tromsø. An ascent that could give strong indications about the final ranking. It's the decisive stage of the Arctic race, and again 8 men try to leave the pack behind early in the race. Amongst them Bernhard Eisel, who will confirm that he is not to be beaten in a mountain classification. 60 kilometers before arrival, Dylan Teuns' teammate starts to quicken the pace. Fighting headwind, one escapee after the other is reeled in before it comes to the final ascent. And on the first slopes, Andrei Grivko is the first to attack the man in the leader's jersey. Rein Taramai also tries his luck, but Dylan Teuns counters them both and seems to ride to a second stage wind before the Norwegian August Jensen shoots past him at the very last moment to surprise all the favorites and take the stage. Teuns holds on to the leader's jersey while the stage win allows Jensen to take rank 2 in the race ranking. The final stage of the Arctic Race 2017 leads the pack around and through Tromsø. The last laps lead through the city streets with an ascent that will have to be climbed several times and that should shake the pack. Only 160 kilometers are left to beat the man in charge, Dylan Teuns. Bernhard Eisel again takes off early in the race and takes further points to confirm his lead in the mountain classification. 6 men are with him and the escape group will soon take a lead of over 5 minutes to the pack. But this will not be enough and they will be taken by the peloton 20 kilometers before arrival. A massive arrival may very well interfere with Dylan Teuns' plans, who needs to beware of the bonus points his rivals could get. He takes off in a solitary effort to take the stage and confirm his lead in the overall ranking. The man from BMC proves that he is the boss here and leaves behind all his rivals. It's his 3rd race win in 3 weeks. He proves that he will be the man to beat at the end of the season, and the only 25-year-old Belgian should be one of the men to follow in the upcoming years.